In today's video, I want to give you a different analysis, a different angle to consider about the Great Reset. Let's talk about it. Glory to the Most High, Yah Shalom. Thank you for tuning into another Righteous Spirit-filled episode. Today I'm back at it in them trenches, handling that kingdom business. Man, it is a whopping 32 degrees where I am. The roads are slippery. You know, there's weather advisories, but we're pushing on through. All praise to the Most High, Yah. Man, this past Shabbat message, I put some links in the description. You know, the Shabbat message was titled, the thumbnail had lawless or law-abiding, and then the title was, are you on the right side of the law? I put some links in there to videos talking about the Great Reset, and today I'm gonna hit you from a different angle that chances are you haven't thought about, because even though the Great Reset is a title, you know, you have people that are telling you not to worry about anything, and these are the same people that won't have a solution if something happens. These are the same people that want you complacent, you know, complacent and relying on the system and never being in a state of readiness, never being prepared. You know, people laugh at the preppers, they laugh at the doomsday, but let me tell you something. If the electricity goes off, the prepper knows how to get heat, you know, in the wintertime. You know, knows different ways to preserve food. It's the person that's complacent that does it. Man, when I'm talking about this Great Reset, I want you to realize, go look this up. The U.S. national debt ceiling is at $31.4 trillion. That's how much we've borrowed from other nations over the course of this history. $31.4 billion. The word says that the borrower is a slave to the lender. In God we trust. You know, you start to realize that the people making these financial decisions on behalf of the nation, who are they serving? Who are they serving? What book are they reading? You know, $31.4 trillion, man, that should invoke, you know, self-autonomy, and you asking yourself the question, okay, who did we borrow this money from? Go look that up. Man, you realize as much as they push real estate for small individual properties and single family homes, multifamily homes, man, there's a bigger agenda that's out there. A bigger agenda. Man, we are living, it's just a matter of time that these notices keep coming. These foreclosure notices keep coming. But I'm here to tell you that I wouldn't put it past if the U.S. nation in the next years to come is going to become foreclosed property. Meaning, these other nations that we have borrowed money from are going to, you know, bid on this property for new rule and new authority. Go back and look up the process of properties being foreclosed and how they are sold off. You know, when you think about that, you start to see how they want everybody else moving. They're trying to tell you that there's nothing wrong with debt. You know, you can make money off of debt, and you have people that have made money off of debt, but a lot of the people in the lower class and middle class don't make money off debt. It's the upper class making money off of them by taking out this debt. And here's your first mistake. Your first mistake is buying into the narrative that they tell you. You have a lot of people think that when they cast their ballot, which is the popular vote, that influences people that make decisions on behalf of this country. And that's only part of it. It is the electoral college, the electoral vote that selects who they want. You thought it was an election. When you think about $31.4 trillion as far as a debt ceiling, this didn't happen over one term, two terms, one presidency, two presidencies, three presidential terms. No, it didn't happen over a time frame like that. We're talking about, man, we've been a slave to the lender for a long time. When they're giving out this money, these stimulus packages and all of that, and you're like, oh, it's so great. Oh, foolish Galatian. Oh, foolish Galatian. You know? Every time they do that, the debt ceiling goes up. When you hear them talking about the budget not being passed, we're waiting on the budget, they're making it seem as if they have the money. They want you to believe that they have the money. They don't have the money. They don't have the money. Let me ask you this. What can any governmental system give the people without taking from them? Here's the problem. You just don't realize how much they take in order to line the pockets of the elites that you don't know about. You start looking into some of these world leading families, and I'm talking about there, you might be thinking about politicians and things like that. I'm talking about 3 levels higher than that. Man, there is an association out there that recruits young men and women as world leaders, and you can look up footage of that. And these people, a lot of these politicians and other world leaders have acknowledged that they were a part of this association. You know, now is not the time to be taking out debt. Now is not the time, because if you can't prove that you own something outright, and chances are when this property gets foreclosed on, even if you own it, you still might lose it if you're not willing to fight. We're going to experience a lot of what happened in the Maccabean period, where there was great war with the heathens. And man, when the highest bidder gets control of this, man, it's not going to be life as you know it. Not going to be life as you know it. You know, your biggest downfall is you relying and being complacent on the system and saying things like, well, the last time I went grocery shopping, there was food on the shelves. And the next time I go grocery shopping, there will be food on the shelves. Many people were hit. The light bulb went off for me during COVID when I saw that, man, we can't rely on this. That's not my food. That's their food. I just go to purchase it. You know, people are laughing at a lot of these preppers, but you'd be surprised. Only the strong survive, man. A lot of these preppers going to be the one to make it, because once whoever the highest bidder is buys this property and starts changing things, the people that's currently in charge is going to give you a narrative to still want you to think everything is all right, and you don't even see the writing on the wall. The elites, these families that's, you know, govern a lot of this stuff, got their hands in a lot of stuff around the world, man, they're going to be good as gone. They're going to be good as gone and leave you here to deal with it. Man, if you're not willing to fight, to defend and protect the little that you do have, man, it's gonna be hell on wheels for you. You know, like I said, now is not the time to be getting all this debt. You know, if you got a family that's got 2-3 cars that's financed, man, you'd be better off getting rid of all of them, getting one cash car. You'd be better off. You'd be a lot freer. At least you own it outright. Because here's the thing. When they start coming and saying, hey, like an eviction process, hey, we're here to collect this. You know, you need to vacate this property, vacate these premises. You're like, well, I own this. And they show you the paperwork and show you that lien holder, you're going to surrender. And then if you do own it outright and clear, chances are they might have more power to try to get you to surrender it, and you having this complacent mindset of, oh, I'm gonna just call 911 and the police will come save me. You got an anti-gun mentality when you don't understand that the people that came and took this land from the Native Americans, they did it by brute force, surprise, and violence. Got to look at what's going on, how they've shifted the narrative and shifted the words from illegal alien, immigrants, illegal immigrants. A lot of people don't even know what a citizen is. You have people that are born on this soil that you've known about for years. They're not taking part in the system, but they're not citizens because they don't have paperwork on them. Talking about the Amish community, they don't sign these birth certificates and all of this nonsense. That's why they have to live set apart. You know, nobody makes fun of them in their way of life. And guess what? You know, let things go downhill for you. You have no electricity. You have no this. You have no that. Man, it's already a way of life for them. Man, I would recommend that you stop looking at these people that live set apart as some kind of weirdos, and you might want to incline your ear to wisdom so they can tell you some of this stuff. Because if you're a man and you can't defend your family, you're going to get bent over. You're going to get bent over at the hands of the adversary. You know, as a woman out here, you don't need to be relying on all of these ready-made meals. You better learn how to use some basic stuff, you know, bulk items, and create meals. Better learn that old way, seek the old paths. A lot of people don't realize that due to that debt ceiling, $31.4 trillion, there's a lot of stuff that happens that goes off the radar and people don't take account for. Man, I was in Bogam, Afghanistan about a year after they shut it down and closed. And when I tell you there was a lot of equipment there, I'm talking about billions of dollars of equipment that could have been used, but they left it over there, and then the Taliban took this stuff over. You thought that was a coincidence? Man, you do not want to run your house like this country runs off of debt. You do not want to run it in the same manner. Nobody's trying to balance the books, but instead they're trying to line their pockets. Free yourself from the system. Be set apart. You can be in the world, but not of the world. Like, there's nothing you can do to not be here. You know, be in the world, but you can change your doggone standard of living and your level of readiness and preparedness to make sure when that notice comes to vacate, you got 30 days due to eviction and this property being foreclosed because somebody else owns it, i.e. the bank, you know, and these people that we've borrowed from. It doesn't catch you off guard, doesn't shock you. Closer to Y'all Ministries, kicking it gun barrel straight. Wow.